Welcome back to the latest edition of Benchwarmers FC, and today we'll be looking at the biggest results in Europe. The biggest result for this weekend, Liverpool got thrashed by City, Arsenal coming back versus Leeds, and then Tuchel off to a great start with Bayern, and Real Madrid 6-0 with the Benz hat-trick. Fellas, where do we start? I feel like we should go Bayern versus Dortmund. That was a big result.
That was a good game. Tuchel's return to the Bundesliga against his former team.
True. I felt like Tuchel was gonna use them, right? That they were gonna win. The thing that stuck out was the blunder by the keeper.
At the start of it, yeah.
Professional. Flat field. How do you explain that?
It's like I said to you fellas before recording, Bayern owns Dortmund. So when you go in there, like the pressure of that field, Stadions Arena, like it's too much for these Dortmund players. And then they also have a new coach. Maybe they kind of got into their heads, but then after that era, you just knew there was no coming back.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Bayern was playing.
And you can tell by, any game where Müller, Griezmann, Lingard, those kind of players who just go into the right spaces at the right time, has a very good game and scores goals, you know that the other team has dismantled you completely.
That's true. Yeah, Muller's movement and Muller's anticipation this week, it was crazy.
It was mad.
For the first goal, the header with that delete, and then he comes and finishes that. But the goal for Coleman, the little skip over there is man.
Ooh.
Nah, but Muller, and I know you've always been a big fan of Muller.
Muller he's not even a silent killer. You see his work.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to admire it and say he's the best player in the world and he's your favorite player? No. But the guy, there's a reason the guy has been in Bayern and Germany for that long.
Exactly.
Yeah. And he's a poacher too.
Yeah, and then manager after manager, they're trusting him to come through. Yeah.
I was even thinking when I saw the lineup, Musiala was on the bench. I was like, who's playing 10? Muller. Okay, Tuchel knows exactly who he wants to trust in this team.
Yeah.
And you can tell, man, that his influence on the team, whether it be just mentality or the way he works, his work ethic, his movement, bro. Bayern plays better. Germany plays better when Muller is playing.
It's true. And then who's this? Cancelo didn't start. How is that? What do you think? I feel like that rubbed you off some way.
Oh, that did a little bit. Yeah. I do like Pavard. I've liked Pavard for a while, but Cancelo is we can all agree he's dynamic. Pavard is a center back that can play right back. That gives you some security. But Cancelo on the ball, man, going forward, he's easily one of the best in the world at his position. But you can tell that Tuchel comes in, and there's a little bit of distrust there, and he needs to make sure Bayern is secure defensively first.
That's what he did in Chelsea too. He wanted to build a solid foundation first, and then build
from there. Exactly, and that's how they won the Champions League. If you see that game again against City, they really didn't have that many chances. One good pass from a good defensive play from Mount, and then Havertz is in. So I think, and even alluding to 2 weeks or next week, April 11th game against City, I think Tuchel, like I said last week, might have something.
Hold on.
Don't go there yet.
We're going to preview that later in the show. But let's keep moving, fellas. Let's go to the Premier League.
Ooh.
I feel like we should start with City versus Liverpool because City, Arsenal had to watch the game and see City come back. I was looking at the score, I saw 1-0 to Liverpool because I wasn't able to watch, but I was like, ooh, can City come back? Because when Liverpool City plays, Liverpool always comes to the party, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, is it going to be that kind of game? Is it going to be back and forth? But City really made light work of it.
Yeah, I watched the game. If you're watching the game, you were not going to panic as a City fan.
Yeah.
They already had gotten chances that they just didn't finish. So we knew that I thought it was going to be a high-scoring game from Liverpool standpoint. I wasn't sure that they're going to win, but I knew that 1-0 is not much just yet. And they came to life with a lot of players scoring that don't usually score. You know what I mean? So it was a beautiful game.
Did you see Klopp's interview after? We would have lost even if they had 10 men. You could tell, and it kind of comes back to that Liverpool this season. If they get a sniff of blood and it stays there, they will play well. But then the moment City started well, but then they got that chance. They played well, they held the ball, they looked good. And then moment City came back, even the second half, I think, when City came into the second half, you all came out looking like you wanted, like Pep said, if you want to win the league, the Champions League, and the FA Cup, you start playing like this.
Exactly.
And they came out, and Liverpool didn't have an answer, man. Let's even talk about the defending for a second. Van Dijk and Trent, what's going on with them?
Shaky. Very shaky. Very shaky.
Very.
I was seeing people were applauding Jack Grealish. They were saying he put in a shift, and he did score at the final, like later on in the game.
Yeah,
it's weird because like he's turning into a utility man in City somehow. But I mean, it is Man City, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But he's all that solo, glamorous thing that he was in that team. He's not that anymore, but he's very useful though.
Yeah. Pep has chiseled him into a player.
That is actually I think the best way to put it. He's chiseled him into a player. The game yesterday, like he was defensively, Grealish was doing his job. On the ball, like the assist for Alvarez's goal.
Yep.
Like beautiful,
nice.
Well played. Even his goal, it wasn't like. It's Villa. Remember Villa, Grealish? He had to drive on and take people on and then shoot.
No,
this was just quick plays, quick movements, and then a quick touch in the box after De Bruyne lays it off.
Yep.
Like you could tell that Grealish is becoming a player that even though his utility, oh my gosh, put him in that team, he's doing something. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see more.
Yeah, we'll see. But then the same scoreline for Arsenal, 4-1, which they were losing 2.
Yeah.
And then it came back. How we feel, fellas?
Arsenal are good, man. Unfortunately, they're good. But I'm looking at their fixture, and I think they have some hard games.
They have Liverpool next week.
And I'm hoping that they fumble. And I think it's fumbleable.
Yeah, it's possible.
They're just gonna have to win everything right now. That's all I have to say about that.
That's fair. I agree. I think it would be very, very wonderful if they did win everything. I think it would be very naive to assume Arsenal can win everything.
I think this season, though, the mentality that they have, like they can do these comebacks, and they're confident as a team. They're a unit. Like this weekend, Saka didn't start.
True.
But Trossard like played. Like that guy is actually amazing. He can play every position in the top 3 really, and he had, I think, an assist or 2 this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Saliba didn't start, but they still held it together. So like I feel like this year they're a different team, and they're forced to be like reckoned with.
Oh yeah. What do we think about Gabriel? Jesus coming back onto the pitch to do a little something. Even the penalty, like making Leeds defenders look like they were schoolboys, bro.
That's how he is, though. He brings that element as a striker. He's not only a finisher, which I mean, he's not a finisher.
He's not clinical like that.
Yeah, but he can also weave around, and
Yeah, he's got a little Brazilian magic with him here and there. I just never saw it that much at City.
Yeah,
because at City I didn't think he was that high.
Oh, actually, you know what? He was given the chance to be. But the way that City functions, they gave him easy chances that he couldn't finish. He couldn't be the hard worker he is in Arsenal. So when he's not scoring a goal, he's working hard, doing other things, movement and stuff. But in City, it was silver platter. You didn't finish, we bench you.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? So,
top teams, you got to be a striker that can finish.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We'll see how it goes for them, though. I think if he keeps playing this way, he could. We could see him next season being in that conversation of top scorers and all this conversation.
He's hungry. Even like when he was subbed out this weekend, he was on a brace. I mean, he was on to a hat trick, but he was like mad. He's like, bro, I really want. He's hungry.
He wants that.
You know what I mean? So that he's got the right attitude, and it's just a matter of finishing more chances, and because he needs to get up in the golden boot conversation. As a striker, you need to be up there.
Yeah.
You can say he's bringing all this work and all that, but he wants to be scoring goals. You know what I mean?
Do you think, even with the way football's going, other than the Haaland and the Levies and the Benz, there's barely any real number 9s anymore. Do you think his goal is not necessarily to score goals anymore? Like, even with Arteta, with Pep, they don't necessarily want their striker to be the goal scorer.
He may not, his goal maybe. it's for the team to win, right? Everyone's goal is for the team to win. But as a striker, you still want to score.
Still true.
Yeah.
True.
Like even Son when he was not scoring, he's like, I'm not happy. I'm a forward. I want to be scoring. You know what I mean? Like you can do all these assists, you can do all these passes, but nothing like that feeling of putting the ball in the net.
Jesus has a point to prove. Let's not get that twisted. He was in one of the best teams in the world and didn't get a chance for a reason and was fumbling for reasons.
Yeah.
So I feel like this Arsenal, powwow that's happening, part of him wants to prove himself, and part of proving himself is score goals.
Yeah.
That's fair.
No, wait. So speaking of fumbling, the
Go
team
easy.
Chelsea has been fumbling recently. 2-0 now to Aston Villa. What's going on over there?
Weesh. I don't know. I can tell you. Did you guys? I mean, just the game alone. I think Villa played really well.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. If I was to give an award to any player this week, it'd have been McGinn because he ran that midfield like a man's business.
And he scored
a
too.
beauty.
Yeah.
Like that goal, top of the box. It was always curling away from the keeper. Well placed, well powered. Like, bro.
Yeah, I was actually impressed that he didn't go far post. He went near post.
Yeah.
It was okay, guy.
Even when he was running up, that's what it looked like to me. I thought he was gonna just like try to curl it far post and top bins, but he was like, nah, I'm sending there.
Yeah.
Good luck to you, keep. But I mean, I think it just hasn't worked out for Chelsea. All these signings.
And they've sacked the coach now. Potter's gone after like half a season or whatever.
That's tough.
That's what happens when you sack a big man like Tuchel. Like, you don't mess around like that.
It's very true. First of all, Chelsea is not worth my eyes at the moment. So I just had to watch some highlights, and they looked bad in that. And I don't think it helps to fire people so
willy-nilly.
Yeah, like give him. It doesn't have to be years. Give him just like a season. Give him a season. If you don't like that season, that's fine. But this, he goes half a season, then you're gonna hire someone for 3 months. Then if they don't perform, you're gonna hire. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, I saw in the game actually. I watched. I saw Modric. He had a chance where he could have passed to Havertz. He didn't. He went for glory. And then the other one, he had like a very good opportunity to just place it far post, and he passes it to the keeper. I'm like, bro, I feel like he's getting to his head, and I thought he was maybe tougher than that.
And that's why I was saying, even when they signed him, right? Kid has had half a good season his whole career. And you pay 80 million for him, bring him to England.
But he's been talking the good talk, though.
You can talk all the talk you want, man. Lukaku's been talking the good talk for how many years now?
Literally, he was talking about hard work at the gym, like he's focused. He's gonna be a winner. I'm like, okay,
losing will do things to you that you don't think it'll do as a player.
That's true.
Losing. I don't care how good you are, how many people you can dribble, how many people you can stop, how many tackles you make. Losing. Just the L after L after it'll do things to a player that you cannot imagine mentally.
It really exposes who your true character
You really
about
are.
the game.
Yep.
You find out very quickly, and sometimes players get better from it. Like we've seen with Rashford this season, we've seen with. There's been players in
Rashford?
history. No, but let's not get there yet. Let's not get there yet. What we've seen with certain players, even Saka, the Euros situation. Certain players respond to losing, and it will happen, and it will suck in that moment. But then a couple seasons later, you're like, "Wow, what's coming?"
Yeah.
So maybe Mudryk gets a really good manager to come in.
If that kid is gonna be good, he's gonna be something for Chelsea. But I was really surprised because I also saw like a post recently where he was responding to critics, like that one fan that said, "I'm a loser. I'm gonna tin around. I'm gonna show him I'm a winner." So I'm like, bro, prove it. You have a clear-cut chance. Why are you just passing? That looked like a back pass to the keeper. I'm like, why are you scared, bro? You're playing home. I mean, you're losing, but just finish the chance, or like at least put power behind it. You try to be too safe, and you can tell like there's no confidence within him at that point. You know what I mean?
You know who did surprise me though from Chelsea in that game? Joao Felix.
Surprise?
Everyone else was just absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
He was the only one that looked like he wanted
He's always
something.
like that.
I was about to say the same thing. He's pretty consistent with how he plays.
Really?
I wasn't surprised. Of course, it's harder when you're losing, but the boy has been showing up when he has to.
He's been unfortunate with even I was seeing he had a chance that the keeper saved, Tuchel was near the post finish. The keeper saved. He's just been unfortunate. He's been hitting bars, and I feel bad for him. But he's really good at tight spaces. he can create a chance out of nothing. You know what I mean?
1v1 dribbling, he can take you on surprisingly quick enough
Yeah.
to do a little something to you, you know. He's a nice kid. You think he's going to stay there with Potter gone, little drama in the dressing room?
Sorry. Unless Chelsea are in a financial crisis, I think they're not going to want to let an investment like that go. So it might not even be a coach thing. It might be like a management, the whole picture thing.
Even for him, he's got to think financially, like going back to Atletico. Like, you're not going to get as paid as much as Chelsea.
That's
you know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah.
That's true.
So stay in there, make your bank.
The moolah is a thing.
Yeah. Let's move on, fellas.
He has to talk first too.
One of the highlights of the weekend, one of the best game of the weekend, Newcastle versus United.
I've been saying this about Newcastle.
They
Boys
got
are
a
dangerous.
squad. Yeah, they got a squad.
What happened today?
I mean, good humbling. But I will say, and I did tell the boys this, we had a session earlier today, and I told them this. I have excuses for United. Genuine excuses. If you look at the squad that played today, 9 out of 11 or 8 out of 11 were international players who've played almost every minute this season, and then gone to international football and then come back. The other guys, Varane, Rashford, Vergust. Vergust, no excuse for him. Varane and Rashford coming back from injuries, right? Rashford was injured.
What Rashford's attitude today, though?
His attitude was terrible, don't get me wrong. But I'm saying there is that element of the guys are fatigued. Some guys are not even in the element. And even the superstars that we brought on, Martial, Sancho. Martial is coming back from injury the whole season. Sancho has gone on holiday and hasn't really gotten up to speed yet. So there really isn't much Ten Hag could have done. I think he was very foolish and very naive towards the end. When we were 1-0 down, he took out Varane, he took out Licha, and he put on Facundo, put on someone else. Yeah, he put on Pelestri and put on someone else, and he was like, yeah, let's go attack. Bro, they've just shown you the whole game that you're not breaking their defense easily, and they're counter-attacking you with as much pace and precision as possible. Now you don't have center backs. What's going to happen?
And they were pressing high even when they were at 1-0 down. They were still looking for errors when you build up play.
Generally, though, I feel like Ten Hag does that more than we think. Like, a lot of he does those quick change things that sometimes win him the games.
Sure.
I just don't think this particular Newcastle game was the one not to do it. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, Pep has come out and said this before. He said, when I do things and it works, they call me a genius. When I do it and it doesn't work, they say I'm overthinking. Which I think every good manager needs to experiment and go, hey, how can I fix this situation? But there are games where you have to just sit down and go. Like, Fergie was very good at doing this, and I love Fergie, and you guys know I'm always going to bring him up in every podcast. But he was very good at doing this towards the end of his career, where he would even let the players that were on the field try to figure it out first. And then last minute, bring on someone like Chicharito. Chicharito changes the game, right? I think today, Ten Hag didn't have enough faith in the guys on the field.
Sure.
And then he started making changes left and right. Vergos, I love Martial with all my heart, but why are you bringing in a guy who hasn't played most minutes this season for a guy who's actively doing the defensive work from up front?
Yeah.
Right? If you see,
But I don't think that was the problem.
I don't think that's a problem.
The problem for me when I looked at it is you guys you were not winning the duels. Say like Anthony versus Dunburn, Anthony had to go to the left at one point because he wasn't winning that battle, and then Rashford goes there, didn't do much either, and Newcastle was always pressing you guys, and you just didn't have any space to work with.
So my question to you is, why wasn't Rashford the one that was taken off? Why wasn't Anthony taken off at halftime? Right? That's what I mean. I mean he almost trusted some guys because he knew them and knew what they could do, versus other guys. Someone like McTominay. McTominay had a decent game. McTominay comes up for Fred because he wants to score goals. McTominay has proven this international break that he can score goals. 4 goals in 2 games. He can score goals. Give him a chance. Take Vergos off if you want to. Move McTominay high up and play him as a striker. That's a risk, but it's a risk that you have rewarded. Varane and Licha have proven all season long that they are great on the ball and they're firm defensively. Sure, we've conceded a goal. Sure, we want a goal back.
Did you see though before the goal? I think Isak had pressed Varane.
And he lost the ball.
He lost the ball, and that's kind of when stuff kind of hit the fan.
But why would you? think of it this way, right? If I'm your coach and you just messed up, would I take you off immediately? What would that do for
immediate
you?
though?
It was like a couple minutes after, man.
You kind of
Like,
know
what would that
that
do
there's
for
a
you?
reason,
Like,
though.
you know, like in your head, you're just like, "Aye."
But as a coach, you also have to realize when your player, like when the other players inside your player's head.
That's true. That's true.
You know,
And honestly, I'm not saying anything about Ten Hag. I love Ten Hag to death. I trust his decisions. I'm just saying today seemed a little naive with his decisions.
Sure.
Which could be back to that statement of
Yeah, to
when
add-
he does it, is a genius. When he doesn't, he's overthinking.
yeah. To add to your United excuses, if he doesn't have the best squad,
He doesn't.
even when it's going to the bench, it's like, who's
What are you
going to
gonna
save
get?
him? bro?
Yeah,
You
literally.
know what I mean? What's going on with Casemiro? Is he suspended?
Yeah, suspended
Yeah.
4 games, man. This was the second game, I think.
You're
So
in
we
trouble.
got 2 more games without Casemiro. Yeah, we're in dire
You're
need.
in trouble.
You
I mean,
better pray for the fixtures, man. They could help.
Yeah.
Get like Southampton
Yeah.
in there, something.
yeah, who knows with this
Remember
man?
these exactly. These guys are fighting for relegation, and United right now has been a little. Up
Now
and down.
let's show some love to Newcastle though.
Newcastle balled
Let's show
out.
some love.
I've been
to
saying
Newcastle.
this.
Newcastle
Newcastle,
balled
have. I'm not gonna say they have like a squad that could win the league. That's a stretch, but they are a threat.
They've got a good
They
team.
deserve top 4
They
this
got
year.
big boys. I was telling them they got like big boys who are physical.
And the guy that
Animals, yeah.
the
they're
Gaffer
hungry.
knows how to use it.
He
Yeah,
knows.
and they all have a point to prove.
That was the other thing I was actually even gonna say. I wrote down in my notes. They completely wanted it so much more.
Yeah, it was revenge too.
It was straight
Yeah.
revenge.
Yeah.
And even like Isak impressed me. If you notice, before the first goal, Isak
About to be
starts
subbed.
it. He was about to be subbed. Then he gets mad when he sees Callum Wilson warming up, and he puts That's when he presses Varane,
Yeah.
gets the ball, plays that beautiful pass to Guimaraes. Guimaraes plays the ball, header back across. They scored the first goal. He literally made himself stay on the field. He was like, "Nah, coach, you want to sub me? I'll show you I'm worth being here." You know, and it's like these guys are still. They're all good players, but for some reason they're all players that still have something to prove.
Yeah.
They're
So
green.
They're
They are
still,
very green.
They're very green.
It
so
still shows.
Games like this, obviously a game against City, they may not have the same.
I'm actually,
Fight.
yeah. I'm curious because they're in the top 4 battle right now. I want to see them in the Champions League. Come with this physicality, come with this hunger in the Champions League. How far can he take you?
Oh, bro.
It can go far.
Remember Leicester going all the way to quarterfinals and only losing to y'all? I
Yeah.
think because no one is used to that type of football in the Champions League, people are going to
You
be
can't
shocked.
cut off guard.
Yeah.
Give me cut off guard.
Oh, next season will be interesting.
All right, so let's keep moving. Speaking of Champions League, let's talk about the best team in the Champions
Oh,
League.
yeah.
You know what it is. You know what time it is.
Real.
Real Madrid 6. What team? Espanyol 0. Ben 7-minute hat trick. You know, easy light work.
Yeah, I mean, 2 things about the game. Really, you should beat Espanyol. That is, you know what I mean? You lose
Yeah.
that game, you guys, I don't know what to say about that, but Benzema is phenomenal. You know what I mean? There's no other. The guy is finishing the composure. Is there anything that he can't do, really? Like,
Yeah.
for his position, that is, you know. And then obviously Hazard also getting minutes.
Yeah.
Finally something, Chelsea fans, because they're still backing him
They
somehow.
still, I mean, yeah, and you know, it's maybe it's a start of a new story. Maybe it's a continuation of the same story where
For
he gets
Hazard.
injured again. Yeah, but he's come back. He's gotten, what was it, 25 minutes or so?
Yeah, 25.
Got 25 minutes. Got an assist. Granted, it's a 6-0 game, so
He
it's
needed
easier
for his
to-
confidence.
But he needed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Like I think if he got a goal too, that would have been oof. I'd have taken the
And
skyrocket.
he's looking fit. I'm not gonna lie. He's like slimmed down, and yeah, he's like, okay, boy, get to work. And like, you know, he'd given Carlo some slack recently. He's like, bro, why should not play me? You know what I mean? So that probably helped get him some game time.
Yeah, probably. And you know, if you're gonna come on and give slack, unlike, and I'm sorry to put this on Richarlison, even though he just got injured, but unlike Richarlison, when you come on, I'm not happy, I'm not playing, and then you play the next game, you play like crap, the next game you get injured. Hazard has come out, I'm not playing, I'm not happy about this, I'm sorry, Real Madrid fans. And every time he's gotten on without injury, he's done something crucial to the team. He's, whether or not he assists or scores, he does something that you
I mean, now we
there's something
surely
there.
cannot compare Richarlison and Hazard. Just to point that out.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
levels are
Quality
very
levels are different.
Different, but then
But like
same
one
concept.
mentality,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
and one has a reputation behind him. One is still building.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say one is like dirt or something. I was like, no. He's got something he's building, you know.
Richarlison is. I don't. His future is looking dim in my eyes.
But he played for.
Yes.
The Brazil coach trusts him.
Yeah,
And he
No,
plays
because-
thing.
If we're looking at forwards, who are we gonna put in if we're not putting in Jesus?
As soon as
And he was not.
Jesus was
you
the
know, he was
starter
off.
till he got
Yeah.
injured, yeah.
I'm not trusting Richarlison to win me a World Cup.
Yeah, it just
to
depends
win
the
me a
coach they
Premier
have.
League.
Honestly,
Yeah.
because there's
They're
lots.
looking at Carlo.
Yeah, they're looking at him. Actually, that's something to talk about. Should we? Let's start with Barca. Barca wins 4-0 in the leading. I feel like they're gonna win this at this point.
Yeah.
I like it when like fans are realistic. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you probably and
I mean,
Madrid is not.
Madrid.
stiff
I
in
know
that.
we don't. We're not league
Elite
teams,
team.
bro. Like
Yeah,
what we
sure.
do, we come back when it matters the most. the brightest lights, and we shine bright. You know, that's just how we are. But let's talk about coaches here for a little bit. So Carlo might be going to Brazil.
Sure.
So that means Real Madrid will have an opening.
Opening spot.
Tottenham has an opening spot. Chelsea has an opening spot. Let's fill this spot in, fellas. Who goes in Real Madrid if Carlo leaves?
Nagelsmann.
But Nagelsmann is sorted out by this other
By
team,
Tottenham and
and Chelsea
too,
now.
yeah. Oh, the boy's getting a little bit of attraction, you know.
And you're not so.
He was saying this pre-podcast, and I was saying the guy is good and he deserves a good team. I don't know if he has enough in his resume or back to command Madrid and the heads that they have.
It's a big
see
team.
It's big shoes at that
That's big
level.
shoes to fill.
Get like another team, do something, even more positive, and then because it's really in the locker room.
he's
You
an
think
experienced-
Hazard and Benzema and Luka Modric are gonna be like, oh, yeah, Gaffer, what's up? We respect you.
He's
just
an
like that.
experience with Bayern with big heads, so you can be like, okay, now he
How did
knows
that
how
work
to,
out?
He's seen the has that experience. Like, this is how I fix that.
I think that could, if he's as smart as Tuchel is, because remember Tuchel struggled with PSG because of that, big heads.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to deal with it. Then he goes to Chelsea, less big heads.
And
but
you see
still
like
some
what he
big heads.
did, and then now going back to Bayern
Bayern, he
with
can
bigger
do
heads.
something. I
Now
think-
he has something on his resume.
Yeah, but you've got to also realize that sometimes some people learn faster than others.
Sure.
So like, if Nagelsmann is as smart as everyone has put him out to be since his Salzburg days, everyone's been talking up this guy forever.
Yeah. I mean, he's shown it.
He's shown
Leipzig.
it. Leipzig has showed it. Salzburg has showed it. He showed it for a bit at Bayern here and there. Hasn't shown it completely. Obviously, yeah.
I think for Bayern, it was just the two guys at the top. They didn't have enough faith in him.
Yeah. I think and obviously there's stories about the players and the leaks and all that, but I think majority of the squad did
Trust
follow
him.
trust him, and believe him. So I think if he's learned quickly and if he's as smart as everyone says, he's gonna adjust very quickly.
So he goes to Madrid.
He goes to Madrid
Who
and then
fills
he can do that.
who fills the Chelsea and Tottenham job?
I don't know about Chelsea, bro.
I think filling Chelsea will be easier than Tottenham. Tottenham, I think, need to actually find some guy that worked for Leicester or like some team.
They're talking about that
Rodgers
coach.
is-
Yeah.
No, they're talking about
Those revolutional. I came from nothing and now
yeah,
I'm
they were talking
working
about
my
this
way.
the Brighton coach right now, Deserbi.
Zerbi is a nice
But
one.
Yes.
he just got to
Yes.
Brighton,
He won one
and he's
move, and he's doing well with Brighton.
He's doing
Honestly,
really
Brighton
good.
can see themselves in Europe.
Yeah.
next
They
season.
need those caliber and kind of coaches though in
That's
Tottenham.
true.
I think
The
no
only
more
problem is-
stars and
Would they
celebrities.
have the money to tease him though? With Tottenham, they are rich.
They
for
could.
sure.
Hey, now,
yeah, they are
they
rich.
could.
They can't tease.
Brighton to Tottenham, anything is a step up for those guys.
But you got to realize that there's managers, and maybe I don't know De Zerbi enough. I haven't watched enough on him, but he seems to me like a Bielsa kind of manager. Those managers that just love the football
Yeah.
itself, and if their team like Bielsa at Athletic Bilbao, Bielsa at Leeds, he didn't want. He was
didn't want the
talented.
stardom.
He didn't want the stardom.
But also you gotta think these people got families. That's always
That's
what
true,
I
they gotta
think
take care
about
of them.
it. Yeah, you know, the money and stuff.
I mean, also Brighton is gonna play good. Brighton is gonna have players that shine. Big teams are gonna steal those players.
true.
He's gonna have to leave.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Leicester literally, the guy was stripped off of everything after
Yeah.
winning the league.
And now
So
they've
you know what I mean?
That's another team that's open. Leicester needs a coach too,
Leicester
but
needs a coach.
I don't even know.
They
who
could
goes
get
there.
somebody from League Two that's hungry.
I do think Brendan Rodgers who just left Leicester, could end up at Tottenham and do something.
Okay.
That could be
Because
good.
he has built that. He did it with Liverpool. They almost won the league if not for Gerrard's slip up.
That would be a good assignment. That should be a good team to
might
go
be a
for.
good.
And then Chelsea, they're talking about Zidane, they're talking about Nagelsmann.
Zidane is not
Zidane's
going
gonna
to take
do
that
it.
gig.
But Zidane is very picky about where he works.
He
bro.
wants, I think he's kind of peppy. He's not a recruiter like I'll put. He wants like an assembly that's fine, and then he knows how to use it.
Okay, yeah.
Versus
They could
Chelsea,
bring Conte back to Chelsea. You know,
he could take. I can see him
he's
take
got,
that
he's got
gig.
players,
Yeah, he
got
could
the
take that
and
gig,
he knows how to play in the Premier League.
and they are not Tottenham.
And
Yeah.
they're not Tottenham. And it's very clear that Chelsea still have that winning need, because if not, they wouldn't sack Potter. So Conte would be very loved coming back to Chelsea because he has the winning mentality.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, okay. That's our thoughts on the coaches. Let's do quick previews.
Previews.
Yeah, let's start with Arsenal versus Liverpool next week.
Ooh,
Give me a scoreline and what happens in the game.
Liverpool have a tendency of losing and then coming back hotter for a moment. And plus, I have a tendency of just hoping Arsenal. So I'm wanting a 3-0 out of that.
3-0.
Are they going to who's home?
I think they're Emirates.
I think Arsenal's going to
Holy.
double check.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
I'll
I'll
check
concede
that.
to like a 3-2, 3-1.
3-2 to Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool is winning that
Oh,
game
Interesting.
for me.
What do you think, sir?
It's a tough one. I do think Arsenal is.
No, Liverpool's home.
Oh, and Liverpool's
3-0.
winning. Liverpool's winning, no question.
3-0.
Yeah.
But
I'm
this
there
is
with
a
you.
big task for Arsenal. They need to win in Anfield finally. Like they've really had a hard time going there, and I feel like if they can win this game, that's like one hand in the title.
I agree with that. I think if Arsenal can win this game, they've won. I won't even say one hand. I think they've won the title.
Literally,
No,
But
they have
this
to
is
play
too big.
City.
They still play City.
But that's fine. They have like
They
five.
have
Yeah,
6
they-
points above you. They can lose one game and just keep winning the rest of their games this season. Right?
two fumbles.
2 fumbles. That's all it takes. But that's what I'm saying. This is probably the only
The
other
other
hard
fumble.
game
Yeah.
that they can fumble
I think
without
they have-
someone, without
you're
them
right.
doing it themselves.
What's your score?
I think Liverpool wins 2-1.
2-1.
Okay.
I think
For me, I believe in Arsenal this season. I believe in what Arteta's building. I believe in the boys. They're hungry. You know, they've shown character to come back. Some of my boys, I believe in the Arsenal boys. So for me, it's going to be Arsenal 3, Liverpool 2.
Okay,
Saka scores a brace.
You
And then
very bold.
Gabriel Jesus scores the third.
Salah 1, Salah 2, Salah 3.
Nah. Okay, let's also keep moving then. Chelsea versus Real
Real.
Madrid.
I think Real is winning this without question. I think it's going to be like 3-0 at Real and then 3-0 at Chelsea.
They
But
won't
you
have
know
a
how
coach,
Chelsea
man.
can do it. They're going to bring a coach real quick, and then the coach is going to try to assemble something.
Their who is
But-
very important. It's not just anyone.
Here's the thing with Chelsea now, though. I don't know if you guys saw Havertz come out this week and talk about this. He was talking about Jorginho leaving because apparently they were close friends. And he said, what Jorginho said is like, look at the dressing room. New training staff, new coaching staff, new management, 13 plus new players. It's a new team. So it's not like previous times where Chelsea, the manager came into an already established dressing room that he just needed to influence. He's coming into a dressing room that don't even know each other like that anymore. And now he has to change that. That's going to be very tough.
It's going to be tough. But how long does that really take? Like, this business, it's professional.
It's professional.
You got to still do your job.
They're all children.
That's why they sack people, though. They
Yeah.
sacked Potter couldn't do that job. So in a couple of days or a week, I don't know. Yeah, it's not enough.
Literally a week.
Could
Real
Potter go
has
to
it.
Spurs?
Oh,
That would be a good fit. That would be a
Yeah.
good fit. Yeah,
he could do
it's
something
his
for us.
level.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is his level.
All right, this is another preview. City versus Bayern. Give me a score and what happens.
Man,
Tuchel.
I really am scared of Tuchel. I'm not gonna lie.
Yibri.
But with that said, it's Pep that we're playing. It's Pep,
It's also Tuchel.
and it's Man City. So it could be anyone's, but I'm gonna go for City. City's home or away this first time.
I think City's away.
If
City's
City is
going to Bayern.
away, I'm gonna give like a 1-1 draw.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be scared of each other the first time around. The second, City is obviously gonna win.
I think, again, I said it, I think we talked about this last week, but Tuchel can get in Pep's head. He's got that.
He's
He's got that
capable.
win in the Champions League, so, and he's got good players around. I don't think it's the best players in the world. Like you think, like they're all these. They're good players. They're like world-class players, but I'm not.
But that's the statement, though. We're not saying they got the top 5 players in the world.
Yeah.
We're saying the entire squad is at least top class or world class, including the bench. The only player that plays games that I don't think is on that level is Choupo-Moting, and he can put a goal in the net.
Hey, but he's improved himself.
If you
innit?
put Choupo-Moting in that game, you're losing. Let me tell you that
Nah,
right
he's
now.
a striker too. He's
hungry
He's
for that.
hungry. He's
not
trying to prove himself. He's not
that
Levy.
guy. He's not that guy.
He's
He's
not
not
Levy, but
Levy.
he
He's
will
not
score a
Alvarez.
goal.
He's not Haaland.
But he will score a goal.
Yeah, I think the
Okay.
tie Bayern for me wins the tie.
Same.
How about you?
I
Okay,
think Bayern wins the
go
tie.
through. Okay.
I think the first leg will be a little cagey, but it will be 2-1 to Bayern because they'll have their home against for them. And then second leg they'll come to you and they'll just defend and take care of
They're
you.
not winning in Etihad.
They won't win, but they'll take care of you. A draw is
They
enough to
can
win.
win Etihad.
They can. There's
They have
any
the
team can. Man
they have
City
the mental
can.
toughness to go to Etihad and get a result.
And Man City doesn't.
But Bayern's mentality is Bayern is
Okay,
the only other
okay,
team other
okay.
than Real Madrid that has that elite mentality in the world when it comes to Champions League football is Bayern. Bayern step into a game thinking they can win every game except when they play Real Madrid. Honestly, the Bayern I've watched growing up till now.
I can
they step
see
into it thinking they will win it.
Pep outclassing the frick out of Tuchel.
possible. It's
possible,
But
bro.
we'll
And
see.
Because Pep has a continuation and continuity with his team. He's
That's
been
true.
working with them. Tuchel just came, but also Tuchel
And
can work
I-
wonders in no time.
He's a genius.
Man,
He's a little Harry Potter
watch.
of his own way.
Watch, but okay, that's fair. We can wrap it up, I guess. from
Yeah,
there.
let's see. Maybe one more. There was a result this weekend. Napoli got thrashed by AC Milan.
Yeah.
So like who are they playing in? They're playing AC Milan again. So let's preview that game.
Yeah. Oosh, it's gonna be a tough one. I think Napoli still have. I think they just needed one game of humbling, one game of reset.
Okay.
But the way they've played this season, I don't think anybody, and I can stand by that, can doubt Napoli.
Yeah, I think they still go through in the tie as well.
Yeah.
But this was like a bleep or whatever.
Quick.
So like we say, I mean, we talked about it before that it's such a big. It's like Italian rivalry.
Yeah.
Like anything can happen really there. But yeah, let's wrap it up for the week. We've got some stuff coming up. We have a new character.
Yeah, watch out for the guy. Who's that guy? Who hired him?
Watch out for Mr. Temple, man. He's gonna teach you some skills. Like if you're trying to bring up your skill levels, you know, like a little showboating.
Showboating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then what else can we watch out for?
You know, we're gonna have some. We're gonna go around the local area and see some Americans and see
Yeah.
what they think about football.
We're doing Skill Friday. Isn't it?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yes. Also, if you got skills videos that you want to send, you can DM us on Instagram. We want to showcase everyone's skills, but we will
Okay.
have a Skill Friday every
Yeah.
week.
And look out, there's a skill video by our mans over here.
Yeah, you know, a little something for y'all. Hey, I'm a
if you
center
send-
back. Just keep that in mind when you see the video. I'm a center back.
If they are as bad as what he did, there's no posting that. I hope you understand. It's not personal.
Anyway, yeah, send us your skills. Comment, like, subscribe, and then keep in touch. There's more content coming. Funny stuff, creative stuff, you know. Interviews. We've got a lot coming. Watch out.